Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Women's Voice. My name is Sarah Furi, and today we are discussing addictions and how we can get over them, how our families can help us to recover from addictions. Because I mean, we all have the things we like, the things we crave for, and at some point in time in our lives, we become addicted to it, whether for the pleasure or gratification we derive from such habits. I mean, only one could tell. I mean, so at a point in time when you feel like it's affected your daily activity or your daily life, it's affected your functioning, you would want to stop, but very often you're unable to. So today we have the professionals in the house to discuss or to tell us how we can stop move away from addictions and probably get back to normal functioning in our lives. Today my guest is a lady who is a registered mental health nurse. She has been working at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital for the past 14 years. And guess what? She's moved to specialize into addiction. So today she is a nurse specialist in addictions. Her name is Jamilatu Hussein Bansi. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Indeed, you are. It's been a long time since we last interacted.
Yes, I think about 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. so long the time.
So how is the mental health front? I mean, you've been at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital for some time now. What are the prevailing conditions?
Unfortunately, I would want to say that the conditions are still the same. No interest in mental health in Ghana. No money syndrome. Relatives are not able to afford, because even though we are told that it is free, monies are not coming from where they are supposed to come from to run the facility. So management has no choice but to also, take something small from the family members to be able to run the place. So patients are made to pay. And sometimes the price is a bit on the higher side for them, so they are not even able to access the care that they need. So I'll pretty much say that there hasn't been really any big or massive changes. Yeah.
We are just hoping that the mental health levy will be passed, so all these things would be a thing of the past. I mean, the Mental Health Act has been passed, but it's just the LI and the mental health levy to work with it. But today we are talking about addictions. I mean, in my introduction, I have the things I crave for and I like, and like it or not, sometimes it becomes a habit or something we are addicted to. Really, how would you describe addiction?
Okay. In your question, thank you for the question. You made mention of the fact that you get addicted to. Unfortunately, I wouldn't call that addiction.
Okay, so like if I crave for sweets,
yes,
I like movies. I mean, that on and on and on. We'll get into the dark side of addictions, but
so I would want to look at maybe a pregnant woman who likes to take ILO.
Okay,
she's not addicted to it. It's her condition. You get me? So the moment she's out of it, she wouldn't even want to. I'm not to say that taking ILO is good. It's very bad, because it is sand. You don't even know the constituent of what you are taking, microorganisms, infections, and all that. But I'm using it as an example. If she's using that during the pregnancy, it's just a phase. After that phase, she doesn't take ILO again. So that doesn't make it an addiction. She likes it, but she can make do without it. Addiction, it becomes an addiction when it has become chronic. You try to stop it on your own severally, you are unable to stop it. It is giving you a whole lot of harmful consequences, both physically and psychologically, yet you are still going in for it. Let's say you take alcohol. and then doctor tells you now you have liver cirrhosis, you have hepatitis, you are hallucinating, yet you still go in for the alcohol. That means you are addicted. Indeed, you would want to stop, but you can't. That makes it addiction.
I mean, well, if we are talking about hard drugs, alcohol abuse and all that, then probably, I mean, it's okay to describe it as sad, but some of us are even addicted to things like sweets, Coke. If you don't take it a day, it's like, I mean, your body doesn't feel like you're functioning properly. Are those not addictions?
Like I said, so addiction is broad. If the Coke you take is interfering with your daily life, it's giving you harmful consequences. You have diabetes, you have other conditions. Doctor tells you don't take this, yet you can't do without it, because a day without it, the body reminds you, tells you that you haven't taken Coke. How does it do that? Uncomfortable feeling, pain, headache, runny nose, inability to sleep. So you are forced to go back and take the Coke. So the moment you start experiencing that, then it becomes addiction. Some people are addicted to their phone.
Yes.
Some people are addicted to games, gambling addiction. Some people are even addicted to sex, to the extent that they can't go a day without sex. So the moment the urge comes, irrespective of whoever is around, they are ready for it.
So does that make it an addiction?
Yes.
It is.
It is.
I mean, some people don't see it as affecting their daily lives. Like you mentioned, some people are addicted to their phones, gaming, sex. If it doesn't disrupt their daily life in a way, is it not just a craving? It's still an addiction?
Okay, so if it is not causing any harm to the individual, and it is not affecting the person and his or her family, his work, his social life, we can't call it an addiction.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there is no way you are going to deal with these things for a long time without not getting addicted to them.
Okay, hold on to your thoughts. We'll have to take a break. We are experiencing some technical hitches. We'll be back. Welcome back. If you just tuned in, this is Women's Voice, and today we are discussing addictions and the role of the family, how the family can help us overcome addiction when we decide to seek help. My guest today is a nurse specialist in addictions. She's been working at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital for the past 14 years. So indeed, she's gained a wealth of experience to share with us here today. So if you have any concerns with anything you're addicted to, if you want to stop, if you're willing to stop and you decide to seek help, maybe you could tune in and also learn a thing or two to overcome your addictions. If you want to join us, you can join us via phone on 0264 000997, 0264 000997. Our WhatsApp lines are 055 744 6429, 055 744 6429. We are also live on Facebook. You can join in the discussion. Welcome back from the break, Jamila. So we're trying to distinguish between addictions, cravings, and the things we like. Yes. If you can rehash that, then we can just continue.
Okay,
with
so if you like something, you enjoy using it, and it's not affecting you in any way. When I say any way, I mean it's not affecting your social life, it's not affecting you, it's not affecting your family. And when it comes to your health, it's not affecting your health both physically and psychologically. Then you like it, you enjoy it. It's rather bringing you benefits.
Some pleasure. Okay.
Now, it becomes an addiction when it's the opposite. You are taking something that is affecting your person physically. When I say physically, let's say medically or mentally, psychologically, it's affecting you. And then it's also affecting your role as a member of a family. And then it extends to affect the family members. It goes a long way to affect your social life and your occupational life. Then you are addicted to that substance.
Okay, so let's look at the different kinds of addictions we have.
Okay.
I mean, we would see it as maybe hard substance drugs, or addiction to sex, as you mentioned, addiction to phone games and stuff like that. Let's look at the different kinds of addictions that really affect people's mental health.
So when you look at addiction, we have people generally, like you rightly mentioned, people may be addicted to their gadgets, mobile phone. Some people may even be addicted to games, gambling. Some are also addicted to sex. Some are addicted to drugs. And what really, in fact, all of them affect the brain, because addiction is addiction irrespective of what you are using. So far as it's affecting the brain, giving you sickness, affecting your life, your family, your work, and your social circle, it becomes an addiction.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, we've already established the fact that addictions are mental health condition. It's a mental health condition.
Yes.
Okay. So, what are some of the things that lead people to be addicted? Why do people get addicted to the things they do?
Okay. So, thank you. Most of the times, our family upbringing, you know, our parents are our role models. And a child of 5 years sees the father drinking alcohol. Most of will ask the boy to go and even bring the bottle and the glass to drink. And the child looks at the father, the pleasure the father is deriving from the alcohol he or she is drinking. And you know, kids are curious. There are times too we send them to go and buy cigarettes. They buy, come, you smoke, and you throw away the smallest part of it. They'll also pick up and puff because they want to know, what is it that my father is enjoying so much? Others will also send, especially grandparents, will send their grandchildren to go outside and buy them snuff. So role modeling, in fact, has been one of the main causatives of addiction, because the child sees the parents do, and he or she thinks that it's a good thing. The second thing is peer pressure in our various schools. You know, you want to belong to. You are shy, but you see a group of people who are doing very well. You would want to join them. You want to know what is making them happy. And then they'll give you a term and a condition that if you want to belong to this group, this is what you have to do. Are you willing to do that? And they'll even go further to tell you that It will make you smarter in class. You won't sleep. You'll be able to stay up all night and study. And for that matter, the person looks at all these positivities. Why not? Then he or she gives it a try. There are others too, married couples or just boyfriend, girlfriend. Your boyfriend is doing it. You are always with him. One day he tells you, why don't you give it a try and see how it is? It's a nice thing. Before you realize, you are hooked onto it.
Okay.
Others get addicted not because they want to. It is not intentional. That is not to say that these people are doing it intentional.
Okay.
But let's say women having their menstrual flow, you know, some have cramps, pain, and then they will see the doctor. There are others that is so severe, they'll be given analgesics, and some of these analgesics are prescription only drugs. But the doctor gives it to the person.
Painkillers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The doctor prescribes, the person goes to buy, gets the injection, realizes that, oh, there is instant relief from the pain. So subsequently, he or she would want to what? Go for that medication without prescription. And you know, in Ghana, there are some drugs you don't need prescription, even though they are prescription drugs. It will be sold to you. So before he or she realizes, the person is addicted. And there are some women who CS, through no fault of theirs, they have undergone surgery because of the pain. They have been prescribed some painkillers, and then they realize that this painkiller is good. So anytime he or she has the pain, the person will go for it, even though it's addictive. The person is doing it ignorantly.
What are the telltale signs when it comes to addiction? Because someone may say, oh, I'm just doing it moderately.
Okay.
I'm just doing it in moderation. Do those things qualify, like doing things in moderation, but over and over again? Does that qualify to be an addiction?
In addiction, there's nothing like moderation. It's either you are addicted or you are not. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yes. So if you have done it once and enjoyed it, and then you go back again the second time, the third time, then you are, gradually pushing yourself to addiction. We have various stages. And going back again, the first and second is a stage in addiction.
Okay.
Are you getting me? So there is nothing like moderation. It's either you're addicted or not.
Okay, so run us through the stages of addiction.
Okay, so we have 4. And we have the experimentation stage. That is where the individual is given the injection. I want to use the women because this is a women's platform. So the person is given the injection the first time, realizes that, oh, this is good. Then she goes again to buy. Are you getting me? And then anytime there's the pain, so the moment she goes to buy first, second, she's still experimenting. By the third time, she now knows that this is the drug. Anytime I have pain, I can use it. I can even recommend it for someone. So the person has moved from the experimentation stage to circumstantial stage.
Is it all the time that addictions are bad? Because you see, in this particular instance you're citing, is to take away an unpleasant feeling.
Exactly.
But some people are addicted to certain habits for the pleasure they derive from it, for the good. It's not like they are taking away any unpleasant feeling. Why would you say that if I'm trying to get rid of my pain, it's an addiction?
You know, when you use it over and over again, it becomes a part of you. So even if there is no pain, the brain alerts you because it is time for the injection. The pain is, it will tell you the pain is about to come. The pain is about to come. Won't you take the injection? Are you getting me? And how, like by the withdrawal symptoms that you feel. So you would have no choice but to go for it, even though in reality, the pain is no longer there. Do you get me?
Yes.
Yes. So you started on a good note to relieve pain, but now it is giving you harmful consequences. Some of the drugs, you take them, imagine you are a health worker and you are on these drugs. You go to work drowsy and you are supposed to give a prescription. You give wrong prescription to a patient. You are seen sleeping around. You are seen giving wrong medications. What happens?
So what are the side effects of addictions? I mean, you mentioned the fact that it could affect your work output and all that, but some people take it and get some efficiency from it. So what are some of the side effects of addictions?
Generally, it depends on the type of drug.
Okay,
but
is it always a drug?
No.
Okay, so maybe we could.
It's not always
conversation to other habits as well.
Okay. So generally, there are some that will have a neglect of personal hygiene, because the part of the brain that actually tells you, Sarah, do this, do that, is affected when you are addicted. It's called the prefrontal cortex. Okay, so that is the part of the brain that allows us to make judgment, to plan, to critique, to differentiate between right and wrong. The moment you start and you get addicted, that part of the brain is affected. So what happens? You're unable to plan, you're unable to make a decision, your judgment is impaired, personal hygiene neglected, and on top of that, you may be experiencing what? Psychosis. That is mental illness, where you start hearing voices, seeing things, insects crawling over on your skin. You alone are experiencing.
And all these are just perceived.
Yes.
Thoughts. They are not actually happening.
They are not actually happening.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And then again, physically, your body, what happens? Some get, some of the medications, you may take overdose and die. Especially the heroin, the opiates.
Yeah, opiates. Yeah.
Are you getting me? You may take on an overdose and just die. And then there are some that, apart from the mental illness, physically, like the alcohol, you may have liver cirrhosis. Some you take, you can't even sleep. And some of the drugs, like marijuana, you are told that when you take it, you are able to learn. It enhances your memory. Indeed, initial stages it does. Are you getting me? But as you continuously take it, overdose, now it starts affecting your memory. You can't even remember things like you used to. So
because
you have lapses.
Subletted that function of the brain to the drug.
Exactly.
So if the drug is not performing, that means
So there are now lapses in the brain. I tell you something, in the next 1 hour I come to ask you and you can't even remember what I told you. So you realize that in school, such students will defer. People will come and pass by them, go, and they are still in the school. And people see them as rebels. But unfortunately, they want to stop. It's just that they can't because they are addicted to the drug. So these are some of the negative impacts that comes. And then on the family, it's actually, addiction is a family disease, not an individual disease.
Okay, we'll come to that to explain what you mean by that. But let's continue to talk about, I mean, you have cited examples with drugs and things that we ingest. How about habits that are considered addictions? For instance, if you're addicted to your mobile phone, it's not something that perhaps may bring harm to you. It may bring harm to your occupational life, but as your personal self, it doesn't cause any harm, does it?
It does. It actually does. Let me cite an example for you. This how do we call it? Social media babes. Are you getting me? So if you are always on social media, Facebook, people are living fake lives. But because you are hooked onto their phone, you get to watch all these things and you think it's a real life. You would want to emulate or live like they are living on social media. Do you know what happens? You get depressed because you are disappointed when you realize that you are not able to live up to that expectation. In fact, there's anxiety. Are you getting me? And physically, the moment you are depressed, stress comes in. What happens? Then physical illness, your immune system is compromised. It comes down, and then any other opportunistic infection can just attack you. So even if it is not a drug, it is definitely going to affect you one way or the other. Apart from that, like you rightly indicated, your work. Imagine that you are supposed to be on air and you are seen on phone, you are cautioned once, twice, third time, because you can't sit for 5-10 minutes without the phone. What happens? You lose your job. And if you are the breadwinner of the family, what happens to the family? You understand? So irrespective, like I earlier indicated, irrespective of what you are addicted to, it's going to affect you one way or the other.
So you mentioned some co-concurrent conditions like anxiety, depressions that come with it. One would wonder, is bipolar a result of addiction?
No.
Or it has some linkage to it? Because
it has, yes, it has a linkage, but it is not the causative organism for bipolar.
Yeah.
So you know that bipolar is so the person will be experiencing a bit of happiness, extreme happiness
and extreme
and
sadness,
then extreme sadness. Okay, so at the point when the person is experiencing that extreme sadness and the person is told that, oh, go and take marijuana, your mood will be elevated. Are you getting me? So anytime I'm sad, extremely sad, I go for marijuana, just so I'll be able to balance the mood. As the person continuously does that, he or she develops addiction. So he has bipolar already and now has developed addiction. So has two conditions. Are you getting me? They are co-occurring.
Yeah.
Okay. But if the condition or the drug use or the addiction is what caused the condition, then we say that it is induced. Are you getting me? Yeah. So if you are using what drug? Phone. And then you are disappointed through social media, you develop depression. Then it is substance-induced depression. Are you getting the difference?
Yeah.
Yes.
So some people are even addicted to always posting their pictures on Facebook just to keep up the trends. But to the audience, they don't know it's probably a sign of addiction or probably some form of depression they are going through, for which reason they do that as an escape. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned the fact that addiction is a family problem, if I got the terminology right.
Yes.
Explain to us what it is.
Okay, so even though it's an individual who goes in to start the disease, the entire family is affected. Yeah. Because you have developed addiction. Now, what happens is that your family is labeled, is stigmatized because of the way you are living in the neighborhood. Why do I say that? You have started neglecting your personal hygiene. And because you need to do away with the cravings or the withdrawal, you can steal a neighbor's cloth or car or television to go and sell, just so you buy the drug to kill the cravings. Are you getting me? So that makes it what? Stigma, because the neighbors will now start looking at your family in a different angle. That's notwithstanding, within the family, it looks like they are always on you. You are troublesome. You are doing this. So all attention from both the mother and the father is shifted onto you, leaving the others with no care. So when that happens, the others also try to fend for themselves. Some will try to cover up for you, just so parents' attention will not be on you all the time. We call them enablers. So when the parents come and say, you have used, they'll say, oh, today she didn't touch anything. Just so there won't be chaos, or they wouldn't have to spend quality time with you and leave them out. Are you getting me? Others will also want to create diversion. We call them scapegoats. So when the parents come in or to get their attention, they will just want to do something off so that attention will come onto them. Before you realize, every member in the family is doing something that is dysfunctional. So affect everybody, even though one person started it. That is why it is called family disease. And when you do it, you harm your family. I mean, you cause a lot of pain. Some slap parents, Some will pick cutlass. Some actually use the cutlass on them. Some will steal, and then the family members would have to go and defend them. Some are arrested, and a whole lot. So one person starts it, but at the long end of the day, the family members are all affected.
That brings me to my previous thoughts. Can violence be an addiction? I mean, people inflicting violence, domestic violence, is it an addiction problem?
I think that is a behavioral problem.
Okay.
Yes. That is something that the person has observed, thinks it's good, and does it. But is it affecting the person's life? You get me? That is the bottom line. If it's affecting the person's health, we can classify it under addiction. But in this case, maybe the person is a wife beater.
Okay.
But at work he's functioning well. I get him. His personal life is okay. So it's a behavioral disorder that has to be what? Corrected.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. So at what point in time should one seek help when they are addicted? I mean, do they even come to the realization that they are addicted? Is there something, is there the turning back? Is there anything like a point to turn back?
Yes.
When the person is addicted?
We actually call it a rock bottom.
Okay.
When you hit the rock bottom.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not everybody that hits the rock bottom.
Okay.
Okay, so there are some they start using and they are alerted. Why is it that these days when you come to work, you are always seen drowsy, sleeping?
Okay.
You forget things easily. You are forgetful. You leave your phone and all that. What is happening?
Okay.
So it alerts you.
Okay.
And then you would want to seek for help.
Yeah.
Okay. There are others that it will alert them all right. But there is a fear. Where do I go to? Who do I talk to? How am I going to do? Because, mind you, the person is doing all these things in secrecy.
Okay.
So we always say that addiction dwells in secrecy. You expose it, it dies.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the person is now trying to come out and say that this is what I am doing.
Okay.
It's not an easy task.
Okay.
It takes courage. So I'm lost in thought.
Okay. So you were trying to
Yes.
you were trying to explain the fact that if you hit the rock bottom
Yes.
and you want to
Yes.
come back.
So you don't necessarily have to hit the rock bottom before you seek treatment.
Yeah.
The issue is that the earlier you seek treatment, the better the outcome.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? But if you wait till you hit rock bottom, of which some don't, because you can tell from their appearance that they really need help.
Okay.
But they will still tell you, I am fine.
Okay.
I am okay. I don't need help.
Okay.
This one, if I want to stop, I can stop. It's just a personal decision. Inwardly, they know it is not true.
Yeah.
Yes. So indeed, they hit rock bottom. But mostly, it is better to seek for help before you hit rock bottom.
Okay.
And then again, the society will contribute to them not seeking for help because we are quick to judge them.
Stigma.
Yes. We see it as not stigma, but we see it as addiction, as a moral deviation. Okay. O suban bone onye enti na oyesa gang we de omo bad company. So the person will say, fine, then why not I continuously do it? Because already I have been labeled as such. Are you getting me? But if we become a bit friendly to them and then let them know that it's actually a disease, they can seek for help, I think it will help.
Okay. So let's talk about the seeking help aspects. I mean, where do they go? Does it start with talking to someone, or it probably you just walk straight to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital and seek? Even walking into the hospital itself,
I know.
I mean, connotes some thoughts already. I mean, I have changed my mindset long ago about that, but the public still thinks so, that when you walk into the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, then maybe something is going wrong upstairs.
Seeking for help, there are a whole lot of places to seek for help. You don't necessarily have to come to Accra Psychiatric Hospital. In almost all the government hospitals now, we have community psychiatric units where we have mental health nurses manning the place. So if you want help, you can easily go to them. That this is my problem. I need help. They have our contact. They can easily call someone for you or direct you to the nearest place you can get help. You can go to Korle Bu. Korle Bu is not a psychiatric hospital. Yes, addictive diseases unit. They are also doing very well. You go to them, they will help you. And of course, Accra Psychiatry. You can come there. So I would want us not to think that any person who comes to Accra Psychiatric Hospital is, in quotes, mad.
Okay. Tell us about the treatment regimen to get people from the addictions. I mean, is it medication? Is it probably attitudinal, behavioral change? What do you do when they come?
The treatment is broad. Actually, depends on the number of years the person has used, the type of substance the person has used, quantity of the substance used, and then that will determine what kind of treatment to be given.
Okay.
So basically, it is both medication and then behavioral. And if you have co-occurring, it becomes a different ball game altogether. Some will come, they have only addiction. So they may go through cleansing, we call it detox, but let me say cleansing of the blood. I get me for some weeks or days. And then they may see the doctor for some medications, depending on the symptoms the person is what. Signs and symptoms the person is presenting.
Okay. But
and then on top of that, we give the behavioral care as well, such as the 12 steps facilitation therapy, the cognitive behavioral therapy, a whole lot of therapies to help the person come back, come out of the addiction.
Okay. During this period, is the person confined with your institution, or to you, do you have a place you keep them? Because otherwise, how would you monitor progress? I mean, because you are not there to monitor me.
Yes.
I'll just say, oh, mommy, let me take a little. No one is watching. I mean, we all do it. I mean, some of us who say that we are trying to slim, sometimes we crave for
cheat days.
Cheat days, you know. So, I mean, it might happen when it comes to people who want to get over addiction.
For the treatment, most of the cases, it depends on the contribution of the family members.
Okay.
How ready they are to support the individual. And then the individual himself or herself, how ready he or she is for the treatment. So there are people who come for treatment on OPD basis. They don't need to be there or confined or in residential care because they know this is my problem, I need help, but my work will not permit me to be confined or to be doing the residential, so the person will opt for the OPD. But we have our way of checking you. We have unannounced checking of your laboratory investigations, so we won't tell you that there will be an investigation today or tomorrow. You come and I'll tell you, Sarah, I need your urine, just like that. So if you have used, I would know. And because you know I can check anytime, it serves as a deterrent for you. Okay. And then again, we also use time. I know where you are coming from. So if you are coming from Kaso, I expect you to be here in an hour's time. And 1.5 hours, you are not here. I call home, I'm told, oh, you left home around 2 hours ago. The moment you come, I'll check.
Okay,
so it serves as
diverted. Okay.
Exactly.
We are going to talk about the role of the family and how they can help people overcome their addictions. But let me announce the phone lines again. Our WhatsApp line is 055-744-6429. 055-744-6429. You can also call us on 0264 000997 0264 000997. Do you have any addiction that you would want to overcome? Do you have any family member who is suffering from any form of addiction you would want to get help from? Jamila Bansi is in the studio to tell us more. You could also contact her at the end of the show, or you can go to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital and get help. Let's talk about the family. What role do the family play when it comes to recovering, since it's also even a family problem?
Yes. Before I say that, unfortunately in Ghana, we don't have aftercare. We call it aftercare.
Okay.
Where the person has done 6 months rehabilitation or 1 year or 3 months, and then the person is gone home. What next? Are you getting me? We don't have that, and it's causing a problem because the family members are ignorant of what is happening. The person goes back home and it's like the person is going to fall. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay, I'm called Aquia. I'm calling from Accra.
All right.
I have sons who are addicted and they've been going in and out of rehab.
Okay.
The rehabs, are they really equipped to take care of these persons?
We would find out.
Yes. Well, because they keep going, they come out for some months, and for some reason, they go back to the addiction.
Okay.
Would
you mind sharing with us what they are addicted to, please? That could also help us.
I think hard stuff.
Okay. You mean drugs? Okay.
Yeah, drugs, yes.
Okay.
And it's like a pattern now. They come out for about 6 months and it looks like they're fine, and they go back. They re-pick up the habit, and then we send them. So I don't know.
If you wouldn't mind my asking, what kind of support do you give them when they come back? How are they treated at home? Are they accepted? Do they feel belonging? For which reason they might probably feel like going back to where they came from?
No. They come back, and perhaps they are even spoiled. You know, one in particular, we set up business for him. He said this is what he wanted to do. You know, it's been set up, and he drives past and won't even go in. The others, they go to work and they sort of go and linger, do it for a while, and then they come out. They are treated, in fact, they get better treatment than the others who are, let me put it into these words, who are clean. Because we think that they need more support from us than from the others. So somewhere along the line, I'm wondering whether we are not doing the wrong thing by being over-supportive.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. We really appreciate your call. Jamila will try to answer some of the questions you raised. If you need specialist care, maybe you is the Accra Psychiatric Hospital I would recommend for you to see some of the specialists there, and I'm sure with time they would get back to what we all desire them to be. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
So you realize she said that much attention is given to them.
Yes.
So they have caused the family to be dysfunctional.
Yes.
And then the others will feel left out or neglected. So there is pain in the others. And to answer her question, we have a lot of very good rehabilitation centers in Ghana that are very well equipped. Pantang is one of such. Accra Psychiatry is one of such, and we have PA Wellness Center. Those are the few that I can easily remember. The problem, however, is the aftercare. She said 6 months. So when they come back home, what role do the family play to support the person in recovery? What are the support systems in the community to help such a person? Who can the person fall on in times of problem, or when he or she feels like the urge is coming, I want to use? Are you getting me? Those are the gaps we need to fill to be able to help them in the communities to function.
Okay. I would want us to talk further on that, but she also asked whether our rehab centers are well equipped. If you say equipped, what do you specifically mean?
Okay, so for a rehab center to be well equipped means that they have the personnel.
Just hold on, there's another caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Please go ahead. Yes.
Okay, so we have the personnel who know about addiction, well trained to manage the cases, and we have the books. That is where the problem is. It is not easy to get drug addiction books in Ghana. In fact, up till now, we have to order them from outside. As I speak to you, there are some of the books like the recovery book. There's none in Ghana. We have ordered and still waiting for them to come. So you should have the books, you should have the personnel, and the environment should be a rehabilitation center, not just someone's 2-bedroom apartment that has been converted because he or she wants to make money. But it should be an environment that is, can I use the word therapeutic?
Yeah.
Yes. I get in the environment that has been purposely made for rehabilitation.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
I said Kwadwo Sunyane.
All right. Kindly tell us if you have any submission. Do you have any addictions or any loved ones?
Yes. Actually, I'm a teacher and I'm married to a teacher too. She teaches at Northern region and I'm also in the Bono region. And because I do not want to cheat on her, I mostly masturbate. And I've realized I'm becoming addicted to it. I don't know what to do.
Okay. Well, let's ask the professionals. Yes. So can you kindly wrap up on the well-equipped rehab centers, and then we move to this
Okay,
issue.
so we should have the personnel, the books, the environment should be therapeutic, and then the arrangement of the place should depict that of a rehabilitation center. But most importantly is the personnel with good interpersonal relationship.
But I mean, if it looks institutionalized, if the environment looks like it's does it help in the recovery? Shouldn't it be like a normal home environment? We'll talk about why they keep going back to maybe the addictions or cravings. In this case, it's hard drugs. I would want the woman watching to get some help from her, because she's obviously out of her wits. She doesn't know what to do. Her children keep going back and she's sad about it. Why do people relapse even when the family still supports them?
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Let's address the man's. He says his wife, they live apart because of work, and he's been masturbating. What can we do to help him?
So I think that he doesn't even need to come for treatment. He knows the problem. They are apart. Is there a way he can seek for transfer to make sure that they are together?
Okay.
To curb that menace.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
My name is Evelyn from Dansoman.
All right. Do you have any addictions you need to overcome?
Actually, it's a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been following your program for quite now.
Thank you.
Yeah, please. And sorry if it will sound distractive. I want to know if, let's say, a man sleeping with a man or a woman sleeping with a woman is an addiction.
Okay. We'll find out. Thank you so much.
All right, okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is a very sensitive area I wouldn't like to go into because.
But, well, okay. If I'll try to help her, you said that if it's deterring you from operating normally, if it's affecting your mental health, your physical health, if it's something that worries you, weighs down you psychologically, then it is an addiction. You need to seek help. So if your sexuality choices is weighing down you, and you're still deriving pleasure from it, yet it's the side effects or the consequences is that bad, then you probably need to seek help. Thank you so much. Yes, so you were on the man who masturbates. Yeah.
Yes, I was saying that if it would help, he should find a way of transferring. Since they are both teachers, he can seek for transfer, so they live together. And if it still persists, despite the fact that he's with the wife, we may consider it as an addiction,
so
and we want to help him.
Yes, how do you help
I
such a
get
person?
If he should do that first. If it still persists, he can come to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital or any other hospital for that matter. And then the necessary help will be given to him.
To know that if someone is masturbating, for instance, what kind of a cure or help can you give to such a person to return back to normalcy?
Okay.
Because I mean, they masturbate and to the extent that they may not even enjoy intercourse with their wives.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes it a disorder.
Yes.
Are you getting me? And the moment it becomes a disorder, then it means that we will help you to unlearn what has been learnt.
Okay.
Like we use the cognitive behavioral therapy, for instance. You have learned something over the years. We will help you to unlearn by replacing it with other things that are healthy for you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, your name and where you are calling from, please.
Yeah, sir, I'm calling from hospital.
Okay, what do you have? Do you have any addiction or anyone suffering from addiction?
Yeah, I'm myself.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Please, I like taking tea.
Tea?
And the part of the tea I like is lifting. More than 5 years now. If they break, if I didn't take tea, I don't feel comfortable.
Okay. Does it affect your normal daily functioning?
Actually, if I wake up morning till evening time, any food I will take without the lifting, it's like I don't feel comfortable.
Okay. Well, I'm tempted to say it's a craving, but I mean, the body system is used to it. Well, it's not so as deterrent as those with hard drugs. So maybe it's a slight addiction. Thank you so much. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I wouldn't call hers an addiction, but it's a behavior she has
adopted.
Yes.
Okay.
But she said that when she doesn't take it, she doesn't feel okay.
Yes.
Has she tried not to take it, even though she doesn't feel okay, for a day or two, to see the consequences? I think she should try that, and then
she can overcome it. Okay. All right. So I would want to go back to the first caller whose children keep going back. I want to find out, I mean, I'm tempted to even ask, is addiction a spiritual problem, as someone would put it? Because why does it keep happening? Okay. So you go for therapy, you recover, you get the family support, you still go back to your addictions. Why is it so?
Okay, so addiction is not a spiritual disease. When we started, if you remember, I defined this addiction as a chronic relapsing brain disease, and it's characterized by compulsive drug seeking. It's not like the person wants it, but the body is commanding the person to seek it despite the harmful consequences. So that means that the fact that the person has gone through rehab for 6 months does not mean that the brain is completely healed and the cravings will not come. Mind you, the brain is like the teeth of a human being. The moment it comes off, the adult tooth, none will come to replace it. Are you getting me? So when the brain cells are affected, destroyed, they are destroyed. It's when the person stops, then the few healthy ones around will now start to work to compensate for the ones that have been destroyed. And it takes time for that healing to occur. So the cravings will still be there. Hence the support from the family.
We've got to be wrapping up, but it's family support. An overdose of family support, like she said, she probably have spoiled the children, but I mean, when they come back, they treat them so well that they feel too belong, but they still go back. Does excessive family support also make them relapse? As you answered that, probably we wrap up on that.
Okay, so there's nothing like excessive family support. They are enablers. They are helping the children to go back to the drug use, not intentionally. unconsciously, because the children know the soft spot. They know where to hit, the button to hit to get response. So I would suggest that they go to the rehabilitation centers to be taken through family therapy, where they will be taught what an addiction is. They'll be taught how to build trust. They'll be taught communication traps, so that when the children are communicating to them and it's a trap, they can easily
So you mean
detect.
like the children take advantage of?
Exactly.
Okay, all right. All right. So, I mean, tell us where people, anyone who wants to reach you, can find you. I mean, they can always go to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, but if they want to personally meet you for confidentiality's sake, tell them how they can meet you.
So if you want to reach me, you can call me on my number 0243 937672. You can also send an email to me, jemibansi@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Jemmy Bansi. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jebila, for giving us some insights to addiction and how the family can also help us to overcome our addictions. If you have any addiction and you identify that you have an addiction and you want to stop, you've got to make up that will to stop. It's all in your mindset. Addictions are mental conditions. Seek help whenever you find out you have addictions. Thank you so much for joining us this past 1 hour. See you same time on Wednesday.